No?
I don't know. Maybe.
Ooh, we peaked at two people.
It is.
I wasn't joking.
It is all the way up.
I do now know how to read it.
It only took you a few minutes, man. It's taken me quite a while.
It's because I worked in theater.
Yep.
Hey, hello, Moose Whisperer. How you doing?
Right. How you doing, man?
Stay with us. We're about to start the show.
Yep. We're about to start. What am I doing?
Starting the show.
Okay. We know what we're going to talk about? A lot of Bryce Harper discussion? All right.
Yep. And what's his name? Zimmerman? Jordan? Is it Jordan?
Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan,
Jordan, whatever.
Same thing. What's the difference?
All right. I'm going to put this over here so they can at least hear the...
Good idea. All right, man.
Let's do this.
Here. We'll be friendly.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. There's a drive. Way back. It might be. It could be. Yeah! Playing a high drive into left. Back goes to Craig. He's at the track. He has it. And the Cardinals are world champion for 2011.
A loop bounces slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it, throw to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
This is the Team of Rivals podcast. No insiders, no anonymous sources, just passionate analysis from the bleacher seats. Here are your hosts, Ron Nuttall and Peter Geddes.
All right, everybody. Game 2 just... Whoa, get some feedback on there. Got a little bit of echo. All right. Welcome back. Second night in a row. This is part 2 of Team of Rivals podcast covering Game 2 of the National League Division Series. A little post-mortem wrap-up on what happened tonight. Cubs were very close.
More important. We're live streaming to the world.
I don't know how the hell we did it either.
On YouTube and Periscope.
Wow.
We've taken things to the next level, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have to start charging you.
And we really hope we haven't sacrificed the most important thing, and that is, are we capturing everything audio-wise that we're always on top of? And I hope this doesn't compromise that in any way. But can't guarantee it.
Compromise it any more than it already is.
Right. Yeah, so tonight, we're watching the game in my living room, and I really felt the Cubs were a matter of 5 outs away from, I think, shutting it down. I mean, shutting the whole series.
What is it about 5 outs away in the Cubs?
I don't think it's unique to the Cubs. I don't think it's a unique Cub problem. I think
it's
baseball.
It's definitely something for the Cubs this year. The eighth inning has been terrible. I think I read earlier tonight that their ERA in the eighth inning is something like 5.08. It's ridiculous. They're terrible in the eighth inning. But 5 outs away in 2003, and the name
we know what happened there.
Steve Bartman entered our lexicon. Poor guy. Hey, he got a World Series ring out of it. So
he did. Should I play that one again?
I don't
the
think
hot take
necessary.
on that? No, I don't think we need to either. Yeah, so...
Wait, I got a hot take on it.
All right. Thank you.
You better move that thing far away from me.
So glad I put that on there. Had all day to add to it. I didn't do it. Yeah, but you're absolutely right. I thought it was all but done. And
Looked like it.
yeah. It
Looked
did
like
look
it.
like
I
it.
mean,
Looked like it was
John
done.
Lester looked terrific.
He looked good. He looked like he was on a roll too, right? I mean, you got to
did.
get to the guy early, and they only got him for one.
He did. He lost his stuff there in, what was it, the fifth inning. The sixth inning. Managed to fight his way through it, got out of a bases loaded jam.
Yeah, he labored that inning a little
he
bit
did.
more.
And it looked like he was losing everything. And then Strop came in the seventh and pitched a clean inning. And then Carl Edwards, who has been good. Carl Edwards is actually a reverse split pitcher. He's better against against lefties than he is against righties, and he just hung a breaking ball.
Yeah, he really did. And that pitch though, my goodness. Of all, I mean, you don't want to throw a hanging. I mean, it had some spin to it. It did had a little bit of a curve to it, but you're absolutely right. Curved right into the barrel
Bryce
of his
Harper's
bat.
wheelhouse.
But I mean, there's not many major leaguers that are going to miss a pitch like that. And for anybody, you don't want to throw that to in a situation like that. It's that guy for sure. and that was not a cheap home run. That was tattooed.
And you can testify. As soon as Harper swung at it, my response was, "Oh, Carl."
Well, I've seen my fair share of that this year, a lot more than you have. I can guarantee that. But so if you're in the Chicago locker room, this is kind of thing you talked about before the series ever started. Your goal at minimum was to walk away with the split out of DC.
Right.
So,
and that's the tough thing to get out of this. And I think that it always depends on when you get that split, right?
Yeah.
If you gain the split in game 2, it feels like you've got a heck of a lot more momentum than if you steal game 1, because especially with the outcome like tonight, where it looked like you were going to walk out with a 2-game lead and a stranglehold on this,
right?
Where Washington would have to sweep the Cubs, including 2 games at Wrigley. Now they still have to win 2 out of 3, and the Cubs now have home field advantage in this series. Mm-hmm. But man.
But nice, though, right?
It would have been.
Up 2-0, yeah, absolutely. Because you're going to run into Max Scherzer for Game 3.
Correct.
And so now he's going to be on the road.
Right, and he's going to be facing Jose Quintana in his first ever playoff start. And you just don't know how he's going to respond. I would not be the least bit surprised if John Lackey is warming up as soon as the game starts.
Right, because a situation like that is not going to rattle him.
No.
That's the positive about having him on your roster in the postseason.
It's going to take him a while to warm up, and that's why I think as soon as first pitch, I think Madden calls down to the pen and says, "All right, get Lackey warming up," because if Quintana melts under the pressure, then you've got Lackey ready to go. You can't have Lackey taking an inning and a half to get ready if Quintana just doesn't have it, and if he's not handling it. And there's no point of bringing in Lackey unless you're looking for him to go 4, 5, 6 innings. And that's not going to do you any good if you're already down 5-0 in the third. Mm-hmm. So I think if I'm Madden, that's why you put Lackey on the postseason roster, was precisely for this. You're not worried about Hendricks. You're not worried about Lester. The guys that he's worried about are Arrieta, and he's worried about Quintana.
Right, and Quintana only because he's an unknown in the postseason. That's
correct.
All, right? I mean, this is a regular season game. There's no question. You have all the confidence in the world about the guy. But here's what's just an amazing fact, right? Going into that, was it 8th inning, right? So there were 16 innings of baseball. The Washington Nationals managed to produce 4 hits
and 1 run.
1 run.
Yeah.
Until that point in time. So, yes, Chicago has home field advantage because they're home 2 out of 3 if necessary, right?
Right.
But you do face one of the best pitchers in baseball in Game 3.
But only one time.
But only one time, that's right.
And Kyle Hendricks handled the Nationals last night, and they're going to get Kyle Hendricks
in a pretty damn convincing fashion, too.
And they're going to get Kyle Hendricks again in Game 5.
Right. It'll be fun to watch Monday.
Yeah, it will. I think Monday night or Monday afternoon, it looks like probably Monday afternoon's game will be entertaining, and my son wants to be here when we record the next one. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to wait to watch it on video. He told me that when I put him to bed. He said, "Dad, I want to watch the real thing." Okay, well, we'll see what we can do.
My kid won't be quiet. I can't have him in here. You know what? They can watch live from the couch.
They could.
We'll just stream it in there.
That's right.
Now that we know. Folks, let me tell you this right now. I mean, sorry to break away from the game real quick, but
it took us a half hour to figure this out.
My God, you would think there'd just be a button that says live stream and everything just works.
You would think.
You would think. I still don't. I can't recall the steps we just went through to get that to work. So I have a feeling we'll be doing the exact same thing tomorrow. So anybody that was happened to be watching this before we figured it out, you saw a lot of confusion. We didn't decide to do it till the last second, but it seemed like the right thing to do. All right, back to the game.
But it's happening, so.
It is happening. Back to the game.
Back to the game.
What else did you take away from it? I don't detect a lot of fear because, at a minimum, like I said, you'll walk away from an opening series being the away team, and it's a split, and that's what everybody wants to do.
And quite honestly, if you looked at it, nobody thought that the Cubs were going to win this series anyway. It was very rare that anybody was picking them.
Not after game 1.
But yeah, I know. After game 1, game 1 changed a lot. No, I'm not panicked right now. Carl Edwards was pitching on 0 rest. He pitched last night,
Right.
And obviously that's not something that you want to see him do, especially as well as he has pitched in general. But you got to take the good with the bad, and it's never going to be perfect. So It is what it is. You move forward. Thankfully, this happened in the 8th inning. So you only used 2 pitchers, well, 3 relief pitchers, but Strope was good. CJ and Monty spit the bit a little bit, but Wade Davis didn't get called in because the Cubs weren't able to mount the comeback. So you didn't use Wade Davis. You didn't use any of your other relievers. You didn't go very deep in the bullpen. The only thing that I'm concerned about is that they weren't able to add on after they got to Gio Gonzalez. And not that they weren't able to even necessarily add on to Gio Gonzalez, but that when they brought in, when the Nationals bullpen became a factor, the Cubs weren't able to do anything. What was it, 4 innings on them, and they were clean. You would have liked to have seen the Cubs pile on more because it looked like they had the opportunity to.
Yeah, it would have made it
3 runs wasn't enough.
No, it would have been a completely different outcome had they tacked a 4th, 5th run on in that inning. Then it's, maybe it's Harper not just turning loose on a hanger,
right?
Maybe just trying to get on,
right?
And so the outcome could be a whole lot different.
Right. Hello, Bob Grawl. Thank you for joining us on Periscope.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
So one quick thing here. I want to come back to the Cubs game, but also want to talk about what's going on in the rest of these division series because it looks like Boston's cooked.
Yeah.
Right? Do you have the same kind of...
Well, yeah, but you kind of expected that going into it because the Astros their lineup is relentless.
Yeah, it's a gauntlet.
It is.
I mean, there's no break.
No.
For a pitcher.
No, and I think that they're... if anything, I've been more impressed by what I've seen already so far from the Astros than I have from the Indians.
Yeah.
The Indians, obviously, we didn't stay up to watch it last night.
No.
Or no, actually that was before. But we didn't watch it last night, but the Indians escaped last night.
Yes, they did.
The Astros have handed it to the Red Sox in the first 2 games. So, yeah, I think it looks like the Red Sox are done. I don't know if the Yankees come back, but that's partially because of Joe Girardi's ineptitude, apparently.
Yeah, he got a lot of heat.
He did.
Over that today.
I think it's pretty well deserved.
I think so, too.
He had nothing to lose. Gauntlet. Wow, somebody's criticizing your word usage on Periscope.
Ooh.
Oh,
that's Eric.
back.
That's Eric Fisher, by the way.
Eric Fish, how you doing, man?
Hey, man.
Thanks for joining us. This is going to get scary now.
It is now. I'm afraid of what I'm going to see. Yeah. So anyway, the Astros gauntlet of a lineup leaves no pitcher to take. There's no hitter you can say, all right, we're good here. Sup, brothers? That's great.
This thing's going to go completely off the rails now.
Good. It needs to. We've taken it off the rails by ourselves before. We might as well have help from the audience. Right now, quick update. So Diamondbacks, Dodgers. D-backs jumped out ahead 2-0. Dodgers are cut the lead in half. I'm not really sure how.
Yeah, J.D. Martinez crushed that home run like he knew what was coming.
It was Goldschmidt.
Or I'm sorry, you're right. It was Goldschmidt.
And,
that's right.
Yeah, it wasn't
and then Martinez followed with a pretty solid shot, but nothing
right.
came around with that. But yeah, he hit that like he knew that curveball was coming and knew where it was going to be.
Kind of like the Harper.
Kind of. Absolutely. Oh, and that reminds me. The comments here. We were supposed to say hi to Kirk too.
I was getting ready to do that.
Okay, sorry.
Kirk Oler.
Kirk Oler. We said your name.
Said your name.
That's all you asked for.
And I got to apologize to Kirk. I'm not going to go public with that recording because I was a mess. I was on vacation, folks. I mean, started early. I thought it was a good idea to record later, and
I can quote the exact text from Ron.
Go ahead.
Something about I'm sorry, I almost single-handedly derailed our podcast. I think those were the exact words.
I did. It was terrible.
I seem to recall the thanks for being the sober one being one of the quotes.
Yeah. And he said, well, I have my son tonight, so yeah. I was able to maintain. I was not. I have no discipline that night.
Nope.
Vacation, that's the end of my apology over that. It'll remain on the laptop. Maybe you can listen to it in private.
Is that going to go up with the other lost episode?
God. We've had a few of those, and I'm really not sure how that happens because it seems to start out okay.
I know how it happens.
Yeah, I know too.
Alcohol.
Yeah, lots of it. Anyway,
let's talk baseball.
Let's talk baseball again. So, you said the Cubs have who going?
Tomorrow they have Quintana, and then
Monday.
they have Arrieta.
Monday they have Quintana.
Flat Bill Pissy Pants
Flat
in
Bill
Game
Pissy
4.
Pants. I'm looking
which
forward to
which
that
he
one.
is now guaranteed to pitch because we're now looking at a Game 4.
Could it be his last start, and how will you feel about that? In a Cubs uniform?
I hope it's not his last start.
In a Cubs uniform?
Yeah.
But what if it is? Are you going to miss him?
Yeah, actually. I'm not going to miss what he's going to be asking to pay, but
Oh, my God.
But
No.
for the last 2.5 years, he's been, for the most part, pretty lights out. I mean, you don't want to say goodbye to any kind of pitcher like that, but there's no guarantee that he's going to continue to perform like
Mm-hmm.
that. So you're not really losing anything.
Well, being a Boris client, he's definitely going to hit free agency, and he's going to end up somewhere else. But we're saving this
Washington.
offseason talk for later.
Washington, D.C., you Nationals fans have fun.
Yep. They're going to have a lot of beards on that team. So the one thing, I guess,
If Bryce Harper leaves and signs with the Yankees, as he's been rumored to do,
nobody knows that.
do they make him cut his hair and shave the beard?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean,
I
are they
hope
going
so,
to
because I don't want
bend
to
that rule?
see that hair anymore. I am so...
You're over the hair flip,
No, you can't be over it if you were never under it.
right. You're going to miss the hair flip.
I am not going to miss the hair flip at all.
Okay. That's a great question. I never thought of that because you're right. That has been one of those popular rumors that happens to be out there. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Jason Giambi had to get rid of, what, the goatee when he signed there?
And the hair. He cut the hair, too, remember?
Kept the
He had
mustache.
long hair.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he had
did.
locks.
He did. He had
He had
locks.
luxurious, greasy locks.
They were
They were-
disgusting.
yeah, they were.
They really needed to be cleaned.
Yeah, but he had to clean it up when he went there. So that,
And what happens if, let's say the Yankees sign Shohei Ohtani? Does that take Harper off the table for them? I mean, then they've got a slugger. They don't.
I don't
have
know.
an
You know,
outfielder,
you don't really know what this new era Yankees is going to end up doing.
but- nice. Jason Giambi also had to shave his pituitary gland.
This is pretty fun. I like
This
the
is
comments
fun.
coming in. This is yeah,
I like the interactivity of this.
yeah, yeah. It's a pleasant distraction from when we're struggling for words. We're stumbling around names
Which is not infrequent.
or talking about the differential shifts. Oh boy, yeah. Back to baseball. So let's get a couple Cardinal issues out of the way again. All right. So we covered it off pretty well last night.
Okay.
But I did read a headline. The headlines. If you guys have heard me on here before, what clickbait the St. Louis Post-Dispatch is? What do we got here?
Malahan claims to have gotten 5,000 on the D-backs tonight.
All right. Well, good luck.
Well done.
Looking like you're in pretty good shape so far.
So far.
So far, that's a lot of cash to throw
That's
down on the
that is.
D-backs.
You gonna buy us a drink if you win? Maybe
Playing on the road. Of all things, man. You got bigger stones than I do. What was I saying? Oh, so
Hey,
some
there
Cardinal
it
issues.
is. That's a contract. He's buying us dinner and drinks. All right.
Awesome.
We'll see you in 2 hours.
There's a train of thought here.
You wanted
so
to talk about
there were a couple things. I got to
Cardinals
pull up the
issues.
headline here because these things are always clickbait. How these things start out. So, of course, it's been pushed back because obviously it wasn't a popular story here. Well, one thing to throw out here: is it time for baseball to have an award named after Musial? How do you feel about that?
Why should there be an award named after
I
Musial?
was kind of wondering the same thing. I mean, sure, right? Sure, no problem. But
Especially
who's
when
pushing
you,
for it?
especially when you look and they took Babe Ruth's name off the World Series MVP award. Do you see that?
Remind me what it is again.
It's Willie Mays now, I think.
Is it really?
I think so.
Okay.
I guess Babe Ruth just wasn't a good enough player to have his name on it.
I guess not. As a pitcher.
Please.
Is it Babe Ruth as a pitcher or the position player?
Babe Ruth has
Maybe
Babe
somebody was
Ruth.
confused.
Babe Ruth is Babe Ruth. He was pretty good.
He's pretty good at no
And
matter how he.
But apparently not good enough.
Okay, fine. I can sense what you're doing right now, and I told you before you go off on anything like that, you got to let me know because we got to.
That is precisely how I feel. Oh wait, here we go.
Yeah.
Here, go ahead. Do it again for the periscopers. Hit it again so they can hear this.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Little Stephen A for you on Periscope.
That's right. That's frustration is what that is.
One of these days, we'll figure out how to stream the audio to Periscope.
All right. So anyway, so that was an article that I picked up on, and okay, I really
I don't understand.
That would have never jumped in my head at any point in time.
No.
Throughout the year.
No.
If they named an award after him, fine. Right. I mean, he's certainly deserving. He was he was given that civilian. What the hell is it called? All right, it's like a Medal of Honor to the military, but it's a civilian.
The presidential medal
something
of
right
honor.
Right. So
freedom,
something like that. But so an outstanding individual. He doesn't have a word. It was an article that came up, and I would bring it up. It doesn't really matter to me one way or the other. The bigger story is Cardinals determined. They've got the cash and the determination to make some major moves this offseason.
Yep.
The article's a lot. I mean, it's almost like, well, what are you going to say to us? Right? I mean, what are they going to say?
Well, yeah, they're not going to tell you, oh, no, we think that we're fine and nothing.
What it'll end up being
we just need to tinker around the edges.
I'm sorry, I'm going to make a bow tie reference here. It's only because I think of John Mozeliak every time I see one now.
Oh!
That was a short version. I can hear it right now when we get into February and they haven't done shit, but tinker a little bit. Well, we really like the team we have.
And Ron's response is,
You have got to be kidding me!
Right.
I'm good at that. You should move that over here.
I know. I should give you all the sliders. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't hear my sound earlier, and Pete just shoved the slider up. There you go. Dumbass. I'm glad this is only here with me when you're in Chicago.
Why? You think I might take you out?
There's buttons, there's lights, and there's dials and knobs and stuff, man. This is like, I use about 10% of what this thing's capable of.
I can tell.
Yeah. Yeah, I make that no secret. So anyway, let's get back to the main story here.
Yeah.
That was my only Cardinal issues that we picked up on today, but they seem determined to make some moves in the offseason. I think we beat this up. I really don't have much to say on it until Nuttall, the techno expert. Yeah, that's right. You know how much help I needed in my
Working at
past?
Sears.
Yeah, and I had to sell computers. and somebody who's commenting right now is the one who hired me to do that. And then you had Mac and Chad train me. He heard that. Yeah, so that was outstanding.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for joining us on Periscope. Your timing's impeccable.
Good time, sink or swim is the comment back. That's right. That was the ultimate test. My favorite. So, folks, Pete and I both worked at a retail store. We were finishing up college.
I already said it. It's Sears.
Right, but so that's.
And you wonder why they're going out of business slowly.
We probably played a part of that.
We may have.
Anyway, so I was hired in there, and we all became great friends. But one individual would hide his name badge and tell people he just didn't work there. If he wasn't in the mood to talk to him,
he wouldn't just hide it. He would unclip it and
in
put
front
it in
of
his
them
pocket.
slowly. No, I don't work here.
Because he was busy playing Nintendo.
Like 13 months in draw consecutive. That nobody, that's impossible. I mean, you have to accidentally make it 1 week. But anyway, that's so great. We'll get into that at another time.
I've never seen anybody avoid selling big ticket items more than him.
Well, because it required a lot of conversation that he just didn't want to have.
No, I'll take care of the boombox. You go sell the 60-inch
television.
television.
I'll sell that stack of 50 blank CDs, but you can have that big screen. I don't want to
Fisher's derailing us here.
Yeah, he is. About time for some Lord.
That's a really bad idea, Dad.
Yeah, that's not good.
Just go back and watch episode 4 again.
Yeah, we got a short video clip on that on YouTube, by the way.
We do.
Right? Still there.
For those of you who are watching us stream on YouTube or watching it on Periscope, just go to YouTube afterwards and watch Malort Face. Just the beginning of the episode.
All right, can we speculate a little bit here on when we go back to Wrigley? Let's just say I think Chicago. Oh my God! I think it looks to me like Chicago's. I think they're going to pull this out in the whole series.
I do too. I just
looking
don't
at it
know-
right now, I know
just
that-
don't know if they win this in 4 or 5.
Yeah, yeah.
See you later, Fish.
So anyway, I think they're going to pull it out. And if you have to look a little bit ahead, I know you never like to do that until you're out of the series you're in, right? But I have nothing at stake here, so I can speculate all day long. It looks like it's going to be a rematch of last year's NLCS.
It does.
Is there any? I mean, there's obvious differences, right? There's names that aren't there anymore.
Huge.
Do you feel as? I'm thinking you would have felt pretty confident in NLCS last year because the Dodgers were a good team, but they weren't. I mean, they didn't have the record they had this year.
Yeah, I did. And you know what? I felt more confident last year because of the way that the Cubs had played throughout the year. Mm-hmm. They had that little dip at midseason, but for the most part, they played really, really well last year. And so you just felt like they were the better team. The tough thing this year has been that despite how well they played in the second half, second best record in baseball, best record in the NL in the second half, it feels like a little bit of an illusion because of how poorly they played in the first half and also the quality level of the teams in the second half. Their schedule was much tougher in the first half than it was in the second. They got to play you guys a whole bunch. So
Well, that helped.
it did. So they don't feel as like as tough and out as they did last year. But here's the funny thing: they have the benefit of having been through last year's playoffs and having gone through all those gauntlets, right? Knowing that essentially Game 4 against the Giants really was a do or die because they were going to have to face Johnny Cueto. And did they really feel like they could handle him a second time in San Francisco? Or no, not in San Francisco, in Wrigley, but still having to face Johnny Cueto again.
But he wasn't. He wasn't an unfamiliar arm to some of those.
No,
guys,
he
though.
wasn't. But still, he was clearly the toughest pitcher for the Cubs hitters last year in that playoff series. Similarly with the Dodgers, they fell behind it. It didn't look good, and then they came roaring back. And again with the Indians, down 3-1, and then they win the World Series, right?
Yeah.
And the majority of that team came back this year. And so they have that experience. They know how to win, which they didn't have last year. So does that make up for some of the shortcomings that they have this year? I feel much better with Wade Davis at the end of the bullpen, actually, than I did with Aroldis Chapman. Yeah, Chapman can throw past you 103 miles an hour, but it also seems pretty clear that Chapman can get rattled. And I haven't seen that from Wade Davis. I mean, if you saw Wade Davis's reaction when he won the game last night, you would have thought that he had just parked his car and was going to walk into the department store.
He almost seemed annoyed.
I know. Damn. Got 3 outs. Right?
Yeah. I mean, just annoyed that I pretty don't want to clap my hand now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He just
Some reporter wants to talk. Just want to get off the field.
pitch again tomorrow night.
Go watch this Team of Rivals live stream.
Yeah. Just like Big Luther. How you doing there, man?
Big Luther.
Big Luther.
I don't recognize any of these names, but
Neither do I.
okay.
Maybe that's Mac's alias, Big Luther.
If Mac is on, I would like him to make some type of comment.
That would be great. Mac, if you're Big Luther, give us a comment. We need to unplug the refrigerator tonight.
Black cord.
Black cord.
Go take care of that for me. Sorry, folks. This is we have appliances in the background. We didn't. I didn't disable. Thank you. Boy, that's loud. It's really loud. No, I mean yeah. Anyway, right. So hey, do you think so? Wade Davis, Cubs going to bring him back or not?
I don't think so.
Why not?
I think that
Are the Cardinals going to sign him?
I don't know. Supposedly they're looking at this Japanese closer as well.
Yeah.
So who knows?
The good news is there's 2 guys that are potentially available for these types of things, right?
Right.
It's better than just having one. Because if it's just one, Cardinals are going to lose. They're going to come in second. Right? When do they ever? I mean, the only guys they win is when they bid against themselves.
Of late, yeah, you're right.
So,
I agree.
So is Wade Davis? We're going to find him in a Cardinal uniform next year.
I don't know. I don't know what the Cubs are going to do because
Trevor Rosenthal's not. He's not going to be around next year.
Right. And you thought that, at least it looked like, Carl Edwards was going to be the closer of the future. Well, he's certainly not going to be next year. Not the way that he has performed this year.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't handle the 8th inning.
Well, he loses the strike zone from time to time.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that he can't concentrate or anything. I think it's just that his stuff is so nasty and he doesn't know where it's going all the time. And sometimes that works in his favor, and then other times it doesn't. Then he hangs a curveball and it's a tie game. So I don't know. I really don't know. But, that's looking ahead. Hopefully we're not having this conversation for at least another week and a half about what the Cubs are doing in the offseason.
Yeah, it's going to be because it would be an early one for us.
It would,
right? And I think you'll find your team in the NLCS. Whether they get beyond that or not, it's hard to tell.
It is.
I mean, I think their battle's uphill regardless of whether they face the Dodgers or the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you have that two-headed monster in the middle lineup, Martinez and Goldschmidt. That's a lot of power.
It is.
Some big lumber there.
It is.
Yep. So anyway, I think this is we knew this was going to be a short version tonight because we're only talking about one game. There's only 2 games that were played today.
I tell you what.
So we want to cover so much ground. What do we want to do?
Why don't you take tomorrow night off?
No.
No?
No.
What are we going to talk about tomorrow night?
We're going to do Star Wars tomorrow night.
We're going to do, Star Wars podcast. Scott, we're coming for you. All right?
we could.
We could.
All right, Pete. So let's get some ratings and reviews.
You have got to be kidding me!
Did I miss something?
All right. So we've now brought you a live stream on podcast, or a podcast. I'm so embarrassed. We've now brought you a live stream on Periscope 2 nights in a row.
Yes, 2.
We've provided you with a YouTube live stream.
Amazing. That was amazing, by the way.
It was.
That we were able to.
Yes.
Could have had a 12-year-old kid come over here and walk us through it in about 6 seconds.
Move. So this is what we're asking of you. Seriously. Go on iTunes. Go on Google Play. SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, those as well. But iTunes and Google Play, those are the 2 influential ones. Give us a review. Rate us too, but give us a review. Help move us up the lists.
Yeah.
We're begging. We're pleading. Ron has spent...
Going to start demanding.
Ron has spent a lot of money here.
Now, I
don't
know about that.
He needs to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, it would be nice.
That or else he's just going to start podcasting about...
Actually, I'm just going to...
Ron's going to have to start doing unboxing videos if you don't...
Oh, jeez. I'd do it.
Up. I know you would.
Yeah.
Anyway, so once again, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, and then obviously follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I mean, you've gotten a ton of content in the last 24 hours.
You're going to get a lot more, too.
Yeah.
We're not stopping.
No, we're not.
You didn't come to Charlotte for nothing.
No, I didn't come to Charlotte for nothing.
That's right. We're going to get our money's worth out of this.
And we're going to write it off on taxes.
Gotcha.
Capital loss.
It is?
It is.
I mean...
I know. You spent some big
would I ever
money.
buy a picture with my face on it?
I just have to say, for those of you who are watching, or those of you who are watching, because those of you who are listening have no idea what Ron's talking about. But so behind us, there is on foam core, I'm guessing. Nope,
just vinyl, baby.
Just a vinyl banner. Ron had printed our logo, and then he went and he purchased a Cardinals flag and a Cubs flag, and he's hung them up. I'm very impressed by the work that he did, but as I pointed out to him the other day, it would have been much easier if you had just purchased a green screen.
But then that involves more technology, man. I'd rather have the physical things behind me. You know what I mean? Because then we would have been like stumbling around.
These are going to stay up in your garage, aren't they?
I don't know how long, but yeah, maybe a little while.
Yeah, because you're not going to...
Until I'm told to take them down, which might be sooner than
Ron,
later.
we need to park the cars in the garage. Yeah, but my studio is in there.
Since we've moved into this new place, we haven't... the garage was the last... It was the last remnants of our old place. We had a much bigger house.
Yeah.
Now we've downsized. So everything that we did...
And you've added a kid. You've downsized, but
we've added a child. All the stuff that we were confused by, like where the hell are we going to put it? What are we going to do with it? It's all went back into the garage. And so the garage was the last place to have any TLC
I
whatsoever.
think you need to stop referring to it as a garage.
It's not a garage anymore.
You need to refer to it as my studio.
It's Team Arrival's headquarters.
It's Team Arrival's HQ.
Yeah, I lost my last HQ, which is really, really nice. But you know what? We've done our best here. This actually feels pretty good.
You know what?
I like it.
If you're not watching on on Periscope. If you're watching,
Check out the YouTube video that
I
we
know
put
if
up
you're
there.
if you're watching on YouTube, this looks like a semi-professional operation.
Semi is the key word there. It is. Yeah, but this is great. So just like Pete said, please give us a rating review. Those things really help. And if you're looking at us tonight on YouTube, we do have a YouTube page. And if you want to subscribe to that, that'd be great too.
Yeah,
Hit the
it will,
subscribe
because-
button because we're gonna put more of these out. We'll figure it out. You know, we'll. It's like watching me walk through drying concrete uphill against, hurricane force winds. But I'll get there. But we'll put more videos out.
I mean, now
It's
that
not a bad
now that you have the software on your computer and you've done it once,
If I can ever figure out how to open it up again, and if I can just, you know what, we should have. If this could only record what I did to get here to get this to work, that'd be great.
that'd be good.
Yeah, I might need it. I'm gonna need it.
Maybe I'll set up the iPad over my shoulder when I get home,
Mm-hmm.
so you can broadcast this via YouTube.
Yeah,
And I can Periscope us over my shoulder.
we'll figure it out.
We can keep this
We'll
going.
figure it out. We'll figure out how to do this.
Anyway, we'll give you guys about 48 hours off. We'll be back on Monday night.
perhaps.
We'll do this again.
All right.
Maybe with some kids in the room.
Oh my God, I'll have to think about that. I'm not committing to that yet. At least mine.
Yeah, but if mine comes, yours are going to lose their minds.
Hey, they can watch it live. I can hook up YouTube to
You
the
know-
TV in the living room. They can just.
So this was a funny thing that I saw tonight.
Okay.
Actually, we should close out so that I can just.
Save it for after.
Yeah, I will.
All right,
Thanks, everyone.
Yep, we'll be talking to you real soon. Bye. Boy, oh boy.
One of these days we might.
That happened
actually get
rapid.
some
That
money.
happened rapid.
It did.
Did it work is the question.
What was that?
What was that?
Oh, that was the ghost.
The Ghost in the Machine?
That was the ghost in the machine.
Ghost in the Shell.
That was a terrible movie.
Was it terrible?
Yeah, it wasn't good.
It had Scarlett Johansson in it.